Hey, Sag. Hold on. Sorry. I was looking at ring lights today because I'm interested, but I already have a tripod and I have Saturn in my first. And I'm like, I don't want to have to get a ring light that already has a tripod because I already have a tripod. Is there like some sort of like, I think I'm just going to have to compromise and have a tripod and have a ring light with a tripod on it. They're not really, well, if you can afford it, that's great. If you have to save, that's great. But if you can get one, it's good. I just don't like the way that the ring lights make the center of everyone's eyes look the same, like alien-esque, right? And for those of you who don't like that word, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, right? Something's stuck here. So I feel like there's something that you're not saying, or there's something that you're not getting out, or there's something that feels like it's just kind of like choppy or stuck. It's almost like glue, right? There's like a high level of viscosity to something. It's like thick, right? So something needs to sort of like thin itself out for you, right? Dilution, right? Something needs to get a little diluted, or maybe something is diluted, right? It's thick, but then it's also diluted. You're dealing with some changes that are occurring, right? Trying to go from one reality into the next is a little bit of a struggle. Experiencing the change, you know what I mean? How the change is influencing you emotionally, right? And how it might be influencing your reality. You feel like the changes are just a little bit too much for you to deal with right now. You really kind of wish that it would be the end of it. There's something that you need help with too, aside from that. In terms of like work, it might be a project or something that you might be doing with someone, and you're trying to take on most of the responsibility. But it's saying that, if it feels like there's too much weight on you in terms of the responsibility, then there's a way that you can get someone else to help you. Maybe it's someone to help assist you with the project, not like you're hiring an assistant, or just kind of like getting some new ideas. You might even be feeling like you're stuck with some old ideas, right? And you might want some new ones. Yeah, or the new ideas that you have are being restricted by the old ideas, which is causing you to feel oppressed by some situation. And the old idea could be the way that things have been, and you want things to be a different way, right? And there's a sense of completion, or there's almost like a turn of events that's going to bring a closure to a situation that you've been waiting to be over with. And then you're going to acknowledge that ending as your new beginning, right? And you'll be able to see that for what it is. I think that I actually did cut this, right? Did I not? I mean, I guess I think I did. I'm just gonna leave it because it's meant to be you, right? That's Sag. That's Saturn and Sag. And I don't know, and I'm about to lay it out, and that's what was happening. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. There's a Virgo full moon that's coming up that's squaring you very soon, in like a few days. The Lovers is at the center of the reading. That's talking about communication and reciprocity, and it's also talking about healthy relationship, healthy insight, a healthy understanding about how things are going, and being able to digest, right, something, really understanding it, really getting the most out of a situation. Are you getting the most out of it? You know what I mean? Are you actually present? Is it present for you? It's kind of like you can show up for something, but is it showing up for you? That's kind of like what the Lovers is talking about, that type of thing. you know. And what's crossing the Lovers is the Queen of Pentacles. So we're dealing with Capricorn energy. So there's a level of control here from someone. It could be you or another person. And that's the challenge here. Maybe somebody's trying to control, a relationship. Or maybe it's kind of like a little bit of a dogmatic, kind of like preachy, um, I want you to do this, because the Queen of Pentacles is really talking about forcing someone to work on something, perhaps, because the Queen of Pentacles is a little bit of Sagittarius, right? So it's talking about going, it's the most of something, yeah? So it's the most responsibility, or someone might be trying to do the most, right? That type of thing. It could be the consumption of someone's time, or someone could be trying to consume a lot of someone's time here, yeah? The Lovers is Mercury, so that gets a little bit agitated. It gets a little bit restless. So someone could be getting agitated and a little bit restless in terms of communication or something like that. Something that they want to see some consistency or some, something that is steady, right? It wants a connection, right? It's trying to force this connection, this type of thing right here, this Queen of Pentacles person. And in the past, we have the Three of Swords, which is talking about third-party relationships, perhaps, or it could just be talking about heartbreak and understanding a situation that has led you to this feeling of heartbreak. It is also talking about, the Mercury retrograde, right? And I feel like it also is talking about Mercury going backward and getting into Aquarius, which I think it's there now. So this energy of feeling confused about what you know or trying to figure something out, right? Because Mercury is a little, in the third house, is a little bit of a prober. It wants to like connect and look at stuff and show its face and just be involved, right? It gets busy, it gets antsy, it just wants to be out there, floating around, right? And this is saying like, no, there is a level of atonement that I'm getting. You have to attune yourself to what your reality is showing you. You have to relate to what your reality is showing you. If your hand is chopped off, you're not going to not go to the doctor or not go to the emergency room, right? Some of you could even be feeling like that's happening. But the swords are talking about cutting, and this could be talking about the cutting off of communication, right? I feel like that's something that's also happening here. And that's why the Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers is there. Mercury's talking about communication, right? And the Queen of Pentacles is talking about control, and it's talking about effort, and it's talking about responsibility and executiveness, right? So someone could be trying to boss someone around, perhaps in a relationship, that type of thing, or somebody could really just want what they want. And the Queen of Pentacles is talking about that strong will of wanting what you want and going after that, right? And making sure that whatever you are constructing or building is sort of like happening the way that you want it to. You know what I mean? So it's talking about what's being constructed and what's being built here that might need to change. Now we're looking at the Sun position. The Ace of Rods, so it's talking about a new beginning, and it's talking about the potency of this new beginning, right, and how it's felt in a creative way. It's the Ace of Rods in the Sun position, so this is really good. It's bringing focus, right, action into being. Something is coming into being, right, newly formed, and not like a pentacle, but it's like action that's taking place. Maybe someone will do something, or it's like an official, right? It's an officiation of something. It's something becomes official with this Ace of Rods here. It's like it's like a fresh idea of who you are, right? And what you can do when you allow yourself to see this new beginning. Then you're like, wow, there's so much potential in a new beginning or in this new beginning, right? You know. Let's look at the moon position. It's talking about, being in your head and being afraid of what you're thinking and being afraid of where your thoughts might be going and where they're sort of like taking you and leading you with this eight of swords right here. Scorpio Cuss, nice to see you in here. You're nice to see you too. Thank you for liking the video, you guys. This is just talking about the fear, right? The fear of your own mind. This is Jupiter in Gemini, right? And this is in a house where it's debilitated. So this is kind of like your mind getting the best of you. You can't work around it. It's controlling you. You're obsessed over how your thoughts are affecting you, how they're making you feel. And you wish that you could control it. You might be even trying to control other people, right? Because it's like you're trying to just get some sense of control of yourself, right? And of your mind and your thoughts. Really, it's that, you know? Because the fact that you can control where your thoughts are taking you, it's affecting you emotionally. Yeah, and you're trying to control both of those, the thoughts and the emotions. And it's just making you feel very restricted. Communicatively, right? And you're not able to regenerate from this. It's almost like you keep going back to the same place. You keep going back to the same place. You keep sort of like banging it against the gate and you can't actually get out, but it's almost like you do want to get out, whatever that thing is. And this could just be like the shadow world that you may have created with someone communicatively, right? That type of thing. Because it's talking about toxic thoughts, right? So your thoughts are becoming toxic and it's affecting you emotionally in some way, shape, or form. And this 8 is talking about the courage and the strength to believe and to understand and to know, right? the splendidness, the splendor in the realization, psychological realization that you are not your thoughts, and your thoughts don't make you what they might be misleading you to think you are, right? Or you could be preventing yourself from seeing that something is showing you with these swords, cut, to try to make this transformation happen. You could be holding yourself back, and you need to take these thoughts, these 8 swords, and use them not against yourself, but you need to take them and use them, for yourself. Use them as a tool, right? It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a little bit challenging for you, right? Because it's not the way that you've been doing things, because it's a fixed energy with the 8. But it's saying that you need to come out of that fixed energy into a more mutable sense, right? And shift out of this thought process that has been leaving you in the same place stuck. Anxieties, disappointments, hopes, and fears, right? Magician. Focus, right? Stop lying to yourself as well. If you have been, you need to look at what's actually in front of you and measure what's actually in front of you. You don't want to be taking any guesses. You want to really know what's here, right? The guesswork. Take the guesswork out of it. Mercury is talking about communication that brings information that is going to be useful for you in many different forms: text, talking, thinking, speaking, things that are occurring around you that you are noticing, right? The multiplicity of things that might just sort of like be presenting themselves to you boldly, right? And you might even be ignoring them, yeah? The magician is also talking about the power and the will that you have to create your own reality. And whatever is distracting you is preventing you from being able to create that fierce reality that you want so badly, right? Because the magician is fierce. He's here, but he's in the anxieties. So you have anxieties of doing something on your own. But it's saying that you have all the tools that you need to just do what you've been doing and be who you are and go where you're going to go. You know what I mean? Because the magician talks about travel, right? And then the magician also talks about like individuality, yes? It also talks about, the power of the mind and the strength and the will of the mind. The infinity symbol is there. And the anxieties position is directly related to the moon for me, usually, right? Because your anxieties kind of come from the mind, which feeds into your emotional state. Because your anxieties are going to affect the ways that you are able to be efficient and do things and be the way that you are in your purest form in your daily life. And this is what the Virgo full moon is talking about in a couple of days. How is your overall health? Everything. How is your hygiene? How clean is your house? Are you paying your bills on time? Are you allowing yourself to get nature in at some time? Are you allowing yourself to change in ways that you have needed to change? I'm not talking about big changes, but little changes. You know how ways you can test yourself and see if you can do things a little bit differently than you have done before. That's going to get you something different. You have the Lovers and you have the Magician here. And we are really talking about your planet that rules your 7th house of relationships, especially if you're a Sagittarius rising. Hey, Mom. My mom is. And my father is actually a Sagittarius too. And so I like when I read this, I like try to take them out of my head, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, Mom, but but there's other placement. If it doesn't resonate with your sun, moon, look at the rising. And then if you have your sun in a specific house for you, check that sign too. Like if you have your sun in your 6th house, look at Virgo videos, because that's the 6th house naturally, right? And it might have some things that resonate for you there, especially even in the weeklies. I gotta do those tonight. Anyway, let me continue going. I wish I had something to drink right here. Anyway, let's look at Sun and Scorpio. Which house is that in? Well, what's your rising? And you have to look at your chart, right? Because it's going to divide the houses up. Because you could have a house be here, but your sun be just behind the house that you think it is, because your rising might start in the middle of a house, right? Because that's sort of how mine is. Anyway, because I'm a Libra rising and Libra sun, but they're not in the same house. Okay, so let's look at the Mars position. Okay, wow, right? You need to really look at what it is that you need to do and what you want to achieve, right? It's like what's in line with your path that's real. It's like you cannot try to make something fit that doesn't fit. And that's what Venus and Virgo is talking about. Venus is like, well, if I'm trying to make something work that doesn't work, and if I'm not thinking about if it actually does benefit me or work for me, right, Virgo, that sense of reciprocity and that sense of like, does this have meaning? Is there any meaning behind this, right? It's like if you force something that doesn't have that much meaning or doesn't mean anything past a certain point, it's kind of like, you're missing out on something. So I feel like you are allowing yourself to really focus and commit, or you need to, on where it is that you were seeing yourself going. What were you building for yourself? And this is energy that squares you. This is perfect that this card is coming up in the Mars position because the ninth house is Sagittarius, and this card, Nine of Pentacles, is Virgo, and that's where that full moon is about to be. And the moon is number 18, which is a 9. This is a 9. So we really are talking about this full moon. So whenever what's happening here, send me the messages, you guys, please, okay? But Venus and Virgo is talking about being discriminate of the lovers, or critical of your lovers, or it also talks about what might be hidden from you that you are like allowing to be hidden from you out of your fear of like, not having it all, or not having all the things that you want. It's kind of maybe you need to reduce it down, because sometimes people are happier when they reduce things down. Sometimes people live in a huge big ass mansion and they're like, wow, this isn't everything. Like they just want to get into a smaller house, and then they realize that it fits them more and it's better for them. I'm having trouble at work and being discriminated. Things hidden from me at work by principal and colleagues going against me for no reason. Ooh, yes. Well, you know what? That's showing you here. And that's what this card is. You know what? I was working at a job about a year ago or something. A little over that. A little way, like a year and a half ago. And something happened during email or communication, and then I pulled my cards out because I was kind of upset at what was happening, what I saw transpiring, going on in the environment. And this card just fell out. I didn't even get a chance to really shuffle the cards. It just fell out. So, and this is in the past for you, Connie. So it's saying that you're realizing something. It's probably time to change something. It's time to change something. That's why the Magician came up, and you begin to look at what's in front of you, right? What's really in front of you. The Ace of Rods in the Sun position. Do something about it. You have potential, right? You could be holding yourself back because you might just be, you're not allowing yourself to transform or change from a reality that you just got used to. Yes, girl. I mean, look, I'm not telling you to quit your job. Don't do that. But you need to realize what it is that your job is showing you. Is it those people? Is it you? Is there something that isn't happening that they wish would have happened? Is there some sort of like reacclimating yourself to new policies? Is there like anything that has shifted in the workplace? Was there a change of management? You know what I mean? Did they take that? Did everybody take a pay cut? That type of thing, It's realizing how something is really harming you, and then like I'm going through it too, right? I have a lot of Sag. Oh, okay. So there it is. There's the jealousy thing right there. So maybe that's it. Usually when there's one person that works at a place and people like can't, like there's multiple people there that really kind of don't like this person, but they're doing a good job, it's because they're jealous. I mean, it's simple as that. Right. And they can't, people, you got to just live out your karma. If there are people who are of a demographic or a group of people that have been oppressed or that have been, modified or marginalized or anything like that, and then they get benefits for that from whatever government agency or whatever agency, private agency decides to do that for them, then there's the reciprocity, right? It's kind of like, yeah, I receive these things because I deserve to receive them and I work hard to get them. And it's not like it's handed to me. I can tell you this, people who get scholarships don't sit on their ass. They work hard because they're like, I got a scholarship. I deserved it, but like I want to keep it. And I want to show people that like just because I am on a scholarship doesn't mean that like I just got in, or just because like, you know what I mean. Mm-mm. Anyway, that's for you guys who are talking about work, because these pentacles do talk about work. You know, it's kind of like this Queen of Pentacles is someone that does put a lot of energy and effort into the job that she does, and she offers a lot of time to it. It's very highly considered. All of the tasks and projects that this person has to do, you know, they want to do them well, and that's why Mars position holds the Nine of Pentacles too, because that's Venus and Virgo. That's Venus talking about I find harmony and beauty and peace and working hard and going for what I want to achieve. So that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about getting distracted by love too. No, I worked my butt off. I never got a scholarship. I still learning, graduating, seeing lots of all materials. Yeah, but you know what I mean. I'm not. It's not only a scholarship. I just use that as like a way to describe, you know, the situation, right? It could be anything. It could be a raise. It could be, you know, just any kind of upgrade, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. When people give you a scenario, it isn't. It doesn't have to be exactly that. But if they're saying like it's this, then listen to them when they say that. But you know, it could be almost anything. Like I could say, "Oh my God!" Like, and you're gonna your cake is gonna get ruined. Maybe you didn't have a cake. Maybe you had like a donut tower. You know what I mean? Like that. So let's look at the. Oh, great. This is pretty good because the Queen of Pentacles is a reflection of the Three of Pentacles because the threes are ruled by the Empress and so are the Queens. What'd you say? I'm always trying to self-reflect because I need to improve just anyone. Oh yeah, everybody needs to self-reflect just so we can all improve. That's what that nine is talking about too. Because the moon is talking about self-reflection, the subconscious, right? What is your subconscious telling you? You know, our subconscious is telling us to be healthier, right? Go the extra mile, right? Really take high consideration for all of those things that you feel like are going to make you healthier, right? Because everybody's thinking about health now, sanitizer, Lysol, all kinds of stuff. It's like it took this for people to be a little bit healthier, right? You can think of a virus as kind of like something that just kind of gets really big or gets bigger faster, or you know you can't really control it. It's kind of like pollution or like trash. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Healthy living, and we all are doing it. You know, we're thinking about it, right? Very, 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 very much. This Three of Pentacles in the Venus position definitely talks about someone who does their job well and other people are looking at them do it. And that's what makes them so pleasurable, that they are doing their job well, that they do know what it is that they bring to an environment that is useful, right? And that's appreciated. This Three of Pentacles is also talking about a project that guys might be dealing with, or some capability that you might have, some skill that you might have. It's saying do more of that. There's more that can come from that thing because the threes are multiplicity as well. You know, maybe some of you guys are looking for a job or looking for a different job or looking for a job to add to the one that you already have. Hopefully, all of us only have one job, right? And this is also talking about improvements. So there could be some improvements or some things that need to be fixed in the home. You know what I mean? Maybe the superintendent or somebody needs to come by and fix some stuff in the house, right? That you've been trying to get them to fix for a while, right? Because you might be worried about the kids or something, right? It could even be like pets. Some of you might even be thinking about getting a pet. But you know, I was thinking about getting something small like a fish or like a really tiny, like a really small snake. You know what I mean? And that was very crazy for me to even be thinking about that. But you know, just with everything that I've been through and like that sense of transformation and like power, and just feeling very weakened by like the emotional struggle through my intimate relationships and things like that. It's kind of like the snake just symbolizes something more for me than I ever could be scared of it, right? You know what I mean? Like in that way. I'm not talking about getting a boa constrictor, but I'm talking about a small snake. Yes, the principal is an idiot. Superintendent lets teachers get beat up by principals and students who are misbehaving. Yeah, because the threes are talking about children as well, right? Yeah, right, right. I feel like there needs to be a better sense of unity. Another three. So there's a lot of things going on in this end with the kids, right? This Three of Wands does talk about that. I feel like somebody's turning their back on a little bit of like on like some of the things that are happening. It's like they're choosing to ignore some of the things, or they're sort of like letting things go on, and they're sort of like preoccupied with other things, right? You know what I mean? And also this card is talking about somebody's going to get what it is that they feel like they deserve or what they've been looking for, right? This Three of Wands is Sun in Aries, and Sun in Aries comes after, you know, Sun in Pisces, which that's what we're in. It's going to be Sun in Aries in about like 2 weeks or something like that. The Mercury retrograde will be over. There's going to be some movement forward in some areas. This might actually improve the situation. You know, some people might realize what's going on. In the office, so I'm ensuring now problem exploded with parent and I am the target. Well, you know what? You have to just kind of like keep your cool. Don't get overly dramatic about about the fact that they are coming for you, because that's kind of like what they want people to do. You know what I mean? When a group of people are coming for you, they would love to see you get irascible. You know what I mean? And like very excited. You know what I mean? And irate or whatnot. Just don't do it. Give them the best version of give them the most professional version of yourself that you absolutely can, right? Yeah, definitely stay very, very, very cool. You know, because you can catch more flies with honey. Is that what they say? Or is it bees? I don't know. But, you know, this is waiting for your ships to come in, like a lot of people say. But this is saying that this is a good time to expect a positive outcome as well. You know, that's what that card says to me. Wow, you got the Knight of Wands in the future position. That's you, right? This is double fire. This is Sagittarius. So this is saying that you're going to be feeling like yourself again, right? There are some intimidations moving forward, but you're coming from a place of feeling like you want to transform and feeling like you want to really allow something to turn over in the way that it wants to. You know what I mean? Regardless of how you might be feeling about it, right? Right? You know what you have to do. Does it look like higher ups will step in to help me? Like, okay, let's see. The Judgment card, word. And I just said like you're transforming and something's turning over. Yeah, so this is like something, because Pluto is very much an authoritative energy, right? It's very dense. And this Pluto, this Judgment card is talking about something being exposed, right? So something is going to get exposed, right? And that's what I mean by something turning over. So you don't have to do anything, you know, just be yourself, right? That's why this Knight of Rods is coming up in the future, because it's like, well, you just be you, right? Like I said, be in your energy. Don't do anything extra. Just know that you are coming from a place of truth, because you know what's being controlled and what's being hidden. And it's not coming from you, right? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But this Judgment card is they're saying something is going to achieve a sense of balance with this four-sided cross here. And then it's also saying that, you know, somebody's just going to give up, or somebody might even like quit. Somebody else might. You know what I mean? Right, exactly. But this, whatever was hidden, is being brought into the light with this Judgment card. So you don't need to worry about exposing anything, because it's going to be exposed on its own. You know what I mean? For some, and this is talking about work as well, because the Judgment card is 20 and that reduces to a 2. You know, and that talks about the second house of work and institutions and things that might have been ignored before that are no longer ignored, right? So this is something that people weren't seeing that they're now seeing. Well, you know, it just might be something else. You know, it may not even be that situation that does it. It could be something else. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of like serendipity or multiplicity or anything happening. That's why you have these threes here. Whoa. And then this ace, right? Okay, let me pull out your bonus cards, because then I'm going to have to go. I'm spending a birthday weekend with a friend of mine. The song is on ABQ. So, you guys, a lot of the bands that I listen to when I play my readings, or that I play when I do the readings, I listen to them like all the time. And I'm listening to the Marias right now, and the song that's playing is called ABQ. And it's kind of very like witchy too, if you watch the video. So much comfort in your words. The Lord has led me to you as usual. Oh, I love it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm reading tomorrow at Shanti, everybody. If you're ever in New York, I've actually had people visit New York from other places and other states, and they'll come to Shanti on the day that I'm there on Sundays, and they'll get a reading. I'm like really amazed by that, you know? Because, you know, I'm just Kendra. Actually, like Kendrick. Okay, that's the whole. So let's see. Light activation. Shine your light. Like I said, just be you. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. And your internal guidance is your conscience. Listen to what your conscience is telling you. If it's telling you something that you are ignoring, right? And this too is just like a new beginning. This is like being born again almost. Dharma unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness, right? Sagittarius is usually a very jovial, happy, like energetic, fun energy. Transcendence, Lord Shiva. Some of you need to get some Shiva's eye, right? Some of you need to get some moonstone or some opal, right? Maybe some sunstone or citrine. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe, okay? Divine healing is happening for you. Teacher awakens, right? Facing fear. So you definitely are facing your fears. Let's look at the Romance Angels Oracle card, right? So you're facing your fear of people sort of like being against you, right? But just because people are against you doesn't mean that they're right, right? You don't have to believe that BS, right? Because a lot of times it is the BS that people try to use that actually doesn't get, it doesn't hold up, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. And then I'm going to pull a runes. The runes was supposed to be first, but, I just kind of jumped into it because I'm going to jump out of here and get back on that train. Ooh. That's one. Boom, boom. All right, so here we go. Let me slice it and dice it. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So that's a message for somebody. But let's look at what actually fell out for you, because I chose that. Ooh, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Who is that, honey? And then it says getting to know each other. So are you going to be getting to know someone else? Forgiving and learning and retreat. New love for some of you guys, right? So whatever is showing itself to me, that's what I say. Now let's go into the runes. What do I want to clarify here? Is there anything I want to clarify? Oh. Moving forward, taking action. That's why the Ace of Rods is there. Your confidence is being affected with something. Some of you sort of like thought a relationship would go further, and it didn't go that as far as you wanted it to go, but you're fine with that because it's like you realize that it wouldn't actually be something that you wanted anyway. Joy. Wow. So this is good. Yeah. Letting yourself transform. Degas. This is the joy and dance of life, right? So the joy of life, the dance that occurs with life, allowing yourself to go and flow with life. Here we go. Midday light, joy. Degas is associated with the light at midday when the sun's rays are at their greatest splendor. A boy and a girl dance with joy in the light of a summer's day. A butterfly, symbol of beauty, flutters above them. It is a moment of joy and happiness, falling in love and prosperity, light and wisdom. Everything is illuminated. The truth fills our lives with bliss. Our dreams finally come true. It's time to commemorate them and celebrate together with loved ones. Everything is harmonious in the dance of life. There is no trace of aggression in our behavior. What relationship do we have with our body? How do we express joy? Do we allow ourselves to be happy? Degas offers happiness and enthusiasm. It helps us overcome stumbling blocks and feelings of guilt. It makes us feel light and beautiful, ready to seize the opportunities that life offers us. So this is talking about the joy of life that comes from allowing yourself to let go of things that you can't control, or let go of things that have been controlling you because you thought that you were controlling it, right? Because when you try to control something, it's really controlling you. Okay? But let's see. Let's pull a bonus card from Morgan Grill. Let's see what that bonus card is going to be. Nine of Cups is showing itself. That's talking about a wish fulfilled for somebody. Oh, Chariot card just fell out. What's happening? The Chariot. Here we go. Movement forward, not feeling stagnant anymore, right? And this is sort of like a sense of completion too. This is a victory, right? So if you are feeling like, oh my God, I feel so unsure, and you're sort of like going from one side to the other, it's like this is movement forward and this is victorious. So if some of you are questioning whether something is actually going to go your way, or if a situation is going to turn to make you sort of like feel better about the direction that it's going in or what's been happening, then that card lets you know that it's gonna turn out in a good way. Okay. Bye, Sag. Thank you so much. Follow me on Instagram. It's Providence Tarot. I'm also NYC Kendrick there, and I have two other accounts too. My food account is The Tongue Pop, and the other account is Kendrick NYC. This is only for Sag. Okay. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thanks. Where have I been, girl? Just living my life, trying to keep up with things. I moved in January. Scheduling things has been a little crazy. My sleep patterns have been off. It's a retrograde, you know. But I'm coming back. I love you guys. Thank you. Oh no, just me, babe.